Piece chapter 546. I'm just going to start off with saying wow, okay? And it's not because Nico Robin looks like she joined the Rebel Resistance. I don't care about that. This ain't Star Wars, so I am in all black like a Sith though, right? Anyway, man, that's a Star Wars reference, you know. If you follow Star Wars, you got where I'm going with that. But what I really liked about this chapter, man, is I didn't put two and two together with Jinbe being underwater. I figured, yeah, he's probably strong underwater. I didn't know he was that strong. So let me get this straight, okay? Jinbe not only takes one of like that heavy ass door and puts Crocodile and Mr. 2, not Mr. 2, Mr. 1. Mr. 1's with the sword, like the skin that's sharp as a sword. He fought Zoro. And then you have Buggy on there. And Buggy is doing the Mr. Satan thing, okay? Like, he's getting all the credit. Like, when they get out there, like, oh my god, where are all the ships? And Jinbe's like, they only got the order to go once Magellan told them, hey, the prisoners are coming, get out of here. And it makes sense what Magellan was saying. It looks really bad on his part if not only does somebody break an impel down, but another pirate breaks in. The same pirate who broke in breaks out, and he takes all the prisoners with him. He came for one prisoner, he takes all of them with him. It looks really bad, so I totally get it. I know Magellan's kind of one shot at a few fodder here and there, but for all intents and purposes, they're going to say all of them were taken. So at least when they grade him as far as success or failure. So he did a smart move. He played chess while Luffy was playing checkers. Okay, simple-minded Luffy was playing checkers while he played chess. You know, Magellan did the Jedi mind tricks on him and basically said, okay, that's what you're going to do? Get these ships out of here. They're not leaving on my watch. So they're freaking out. Jinbe's like, look, get that door, get on my back, we're going. And not only is he able to swim through the water really fast with these guys on his back in that heavy door, okay? But he's able to actually dodge the cannonballs that are firing out from the ships. And Buggy's looking, and he's just like, yeah, you fools, you're better off coming with warlords than you are than going to stay with Magellan. And there's a line in here that, once again, this is an interesting line, okay? See, Buggy says, haha, fools, you're better off going with two warlords of the sea than staying there and waiting for Magellan to get you, okay? And what I find interesting about this, okay, is when you look at this, and this is, you know, one of the few times I'm going to actually risk taking a copyright strike, but let's see if I can get it on the camera. Okay. You have Buggy at the very front, looking very smug and confident in his jailer outfit, obviously, but smug and confident as Jinbe, who's underneath him, who is one of the warlords, and you have Crocodile behind him, okay? So you have Jinbe, who is one of the 7 warlords currently, was imprisoned for not going along with it, so he's standing below, or he's below the prisoner who's standing on top of him, okay? I'm going somewhere with this, just ride with me, okay? You have a former warlord behind Buggy, okay? And when you look at the significance of that, Crocodile is a former warlord, which means he's the past. Buggy is at the very front. Usually when characters are at the front like that, you know, just take it at face value. The first person up front is usually seen as the leader. Buggy's got one of the warlords literally beneath his feet. So I'm not sure what Oda's doing with that one, but you know, this is one of those times where I keep telling you guys, like, I pay attention to panel placement, because since this is not like a actual book, and so there's not a lot of words, when you grade or you review manga and you look at it, the author has like 19 pages, maybe 19 pages to try and get his points out across, okay? And because of that, they can't waste panels, they can't waste words, everything has to hit, everything has to mean something, and because of the way that Oda does things, nothing's done by mistake. And so since nothing's done by mistake, I'm wondering what he's trying to say about Buggy here. Because Buggy isn't really big company. Obviously, it could be something as simple as, well, you have two warlords. You have Mr. One, who part of Baroque Works, he's not a warlord, and you have Buggy, who has a little bit of notoriety. So maybe it could be something like that where they're just there to balance it out. And yet, again, just the imagery where Buggy has his arms crossed and his foot, the way his foot is positioned, is directly above Jinbe's head. And it's like Oda saying that Buggy has his foot on the head of one of the warlords. I mean, interesting. Interesting. I mean, Oda does shit like this. Like, again, Usopp with the huge poop of fish turns out to be true. Okay? The whole time when I was reviewing, I'm like, why the hell is Luffy putting up with Usopp? And all of a sudden, Usopp 300 chapters later ends up fighting Luffy. They have a falling out. So I wonder what Buggy's doing. Because Buggy, crazy, okay? And yet, Oda would not be building up Buggy to where Buggy is getting credit for freeing all the prisoners, and they're like, oh wow, we have the two warlords getting ready to fight, and we're gonna see Buggy as well, our savior. Oda's going somewhere with this. I don't know where he's going with it, but he's got to be going somewhere with this, because again, language, you don't waste your words here. So I like how you have that, and then you have Crocodile get onto the ship, and I love what he does here. Straight G move. Crocodile gets on there. It's like, who's gonna push who into the water? You make it sound that simple. You're gonna push me into there, and Mr. One, being being obligated to say, yeah, that's my boss. I gotta ride with him, right? He's just like, I think we need to teach them their place. I mean, it's really interesting, man. Really interesting what we're seeing here. I thought that was pretty damn cool. Now, the other thing that I thought was pretty interesting is the fact that you got Jinbe displaying some huge strength feats. And it's making me wonder, how the fuck did Luffy defeat Crocodile? Not Crocodile, All-Long. Like, was All-Long just not smart enough to try and take advantage of the water in full effect? Because you got Jinbe, he uses this attack where he basically shoots up a fucking ocean current, and that wave is strong enough to push Buggy and Mr. One and Crocodile onto the warlord ship on top of the heavy door, and he does it casually. Like, Jinbe is strong. Like, Jinbe is really strong. Obviously he's one of the warlords, so obviously he's strong, but he's strong just on land. Now I see why he said, I don't know how much help I'd be just on land, because he's got this amount of power. It's like this dude's operating on like 10% of power when he's on land. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I can't wait to see how they actually get one of these ships. Now that out of the way, Mr. 3 with the wax fruit. I love what you see here, where Mr. 3, he says, no, I was just going to use that wax wall in order to try and get my ass to safety. And Crocodile even remarks, Crocodile says, you never know how two devil fruits are going to interact with each other. So it's like what we saw on Skypiea, where Luffy had the rubber fruit, right? And because he's got that devil fruit, he was able to fight Enel. If he didn't have that devil fruit, Enel would have one-shot him, and it'd have been GG in the series. But it's like Oda's opened the door there for that. The other thing is Oda has Luffy get his rematch. Oh, fuck, I did not want this. Really did not want this, but it fits Oda's pattern. The hero always gets his rematch. He fails, and then he meets him again. And it fits in what Joseph Campbell does, okay? Star Wars reference. Luke fails to fight Darth Vader. Fights him again, defeats him. Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader when he's Anakin. Defeats him. So Anakin loses, because Anakin was the original hero. Path of the Tyrant takes place when you ignore the hero's call to action. That's when you start the Path of the Tyrant. So he loses to Obi-Wan. Meets him again in episode 4. He defeats Obi-Wan. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing here. So Luffy has to get his rematch. He's got the wax fist and feet, and he's planning on trying to attack Magellan. He says, I have a plan. I'm like, Luffy has a plan. And it's like, breaking news, people. Breaking news. Luffy has a plan. That does not happen often. You know, Luffy's one of those ones, he just thinks things up on the seat of his pants. No, Luffy has a plan, and it's actually a really good plan. That wax will allow him to land hits. If he can land hits, he can probably defeat Magellan. So that's going to be really interesting. And it goes into what Crocodile said. You never know how devil fruits are going to interact with each other. And I think maybe Luffy heard that, and then the light bulb went off, and he said, oh, I could get Mr. 3 to make me like a suit of armor out of wax, and that's going to slow me down. So I'll settle for something to use my fist and my feet with, and I'm going to kick this dude's ass, and I'm going to go help them. And he tells Jinbe, just get me a ship. Like, I love how Luffy is just bossing around one of the 7 warlords casually. So I said before, you know, Luffy was like, look, I got 3 of them bitches, okay? Like, Crocodile, that's my bitch. Moria, that's my bitch. Boa Hancock, we already know she's my bitch. She came willingly. Now he's looking at Jinbe, and he's like, look, I already made 3 of you guys my bitch. I was about to make Blackbeard my bitch. So that's 4. You, I might as well go ahead and finish up. That's 5 of you, okay? You know, Blackbeard's the one I got to work a little harder for. But you, yeah, you go get me a ship. I like that right there, man. It just shows you Luffy is being built up to be something special, man. So, you know, overall, this is a pretty good chapter. You know, the highlight for me is the fact that Luffy, when he hits Magellan with that hit, I want to say it was the champion's fist. That might be like a Viz translation error. But when he uses that, Magellan is looking like, I can't believe somebody actually hit me. So it tells me this is probably the first time Magellan's actually felt some physical pain in a very long time. Now, the other thing I want to touch on before I get out of here with this review is I like how Oda gender bent the different straw hats. Like in the SB corner, you know, SBS corner, you know, he gets a question, what do all the straw hats look like? Gender bent. And I thought Luffy's design, I'm going to catch some hell for this because I know there's a lot of people who love Luffy. Like, talking bad about Luffy in the One Piece community, it's like talking bad about Son Goku in the Dragon Ball community. It's like, or Bulma in the Dragon Ball community. Because we actually, I think we got introduced to Bulma first and then it was Goku. Might be, it's been a while since I read chapter 1. But talking bad about either of those, it's a no-go. You catch hell. I'm going to say this about Luffy, and I might, you know, trigger some people. I actually think Luffy's design as a woman, it looks cooler than Luffy's design as a man. I think like the crazy expression and like the cut and everything, like he looks better gender bent than he does like as he is. And I would love to have read a series where Luffy, because as you guys know, like I really like strong female characters. So maybe that's just that coming out of me, and maybe that's my bias. I would have loved to have seen that. I don't want all the other Straw Hats gender bent though. I will say Nico Robin looks really, really manly. Like she looks like you get the expression somebody's gonna put hands on you. Like we know she'll put hands on you, but she looks like one of the bodybuilder dudes that completely fuck you up. Like she looks like the type of guy you don't want to meet in the corner somewhere in a dark alley. Okay, like that's how she's drawn. So and Frankie, God knows he does not need to be gender bent. Like that's already an ugly dude. But he looks like he makes Ivankov as a man dressed as a drag queen look like a beauty queen, okay? And then you got Nami. Nami as a dude, no go. No go. Like, whew, no go. No go. Like Nico Robin's design looks worse, but no go. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Have an